Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the pre-championship view here on United View. I hope you guys are doing well. We're not. We're obviously not doing well as a team. It's more chaos. Everyone's angry. Some people less so. It's been big opinions. There's been some right opinions. There's been some wrong opinions. There's been a lot of back and forths. There's so much going on. There's so much going on. Last day of 2024, we could kiss goodbye to it and pick up exactly where we left off tomorrow in the new year. In the new year,
It's one of those things. When people go like the whole, the thing is when people say "New Year, New Me," it's just a day. Enough. What's really changed from the 31st to the 1st, and it's a bit like that with Manchester United, isn't it? I suppose if you're hoping for 2025 is around the corner, we'll be different. We won't, really. I don't think, particularly our first game of 2025, being Liverpool, Anfield, not really sure what the difference there is going to be. But it does feel, what I will say, Flex, actually, is it does feel slightly surreal, the situation that we're in at the moment. I was thinking about this once we all finished up last night, and I was sitting there in bed, and I was thinking, what
is going on?
We're in a relegation battle near enough. You know what I mean? 7 points away, Ipswich winning games. Like there's people are already starting to do the maths of, if we lose to Liverpool and Palace win their game, and you know what I mean? People are doing those kind of things. I was sitting there going, I just cannot believe the situation that we have found ourselves in. It is just utterly bizarre. Almost, I suppose, overwhelming to the point of there's anger, but there's also like this just sort of like past anger feeling. You know what I mean? Where it's like, what? I can't really explain it and articulate
and we can't articulate it. And also, I think the truth is there are no real right or wrong answers, because it's just, this is the culmination of everything being lumped up into one now. Now the volcano is exploding. That's what it is. And we have to talk. We have to talk about a lot, and just be honest with where we're feeling. And I have to say, I was shocked. I was shocked, and maybe more for me. And I've had to sit and think and work out what I think now and how I feel. Just at suggesting like a short-term something to stem the bleed. I didn't realize that that would be met with such like I'd be nailed to the cross. Like I didn't realize that would happen. I didn't. I honestly thought okay, well, I'm going to suggest maybe something needs to change. Not all the ideologies, not every idea, not give up on everything, just so we don't hold 10. But I didn't realize that it would come across as like, you're not here for the fight. You're turning on the manager already. This is the problem. You did flip-flopping straight away. I went, whoa. I must have come across wrong. I must have, or maybe I was too emotional in the moment to make the point I wanted to make. Or maybe the point I was even trying to make is wrong. Maybe actually, from looking at it, when I'm seeing the discussions about actually, if we get relegated, we get relegated. As long as Ruben stays, that might need to be what happens. So maybe I just feel like, honestly, the backlash was so strong. I went, all right, cool. So maybe I think I've got this totally wrong. He shouldn't change, not even a dime, not even something. I just, that's where I'm at. I just thought, okay, I was one of the first to just go, should he just, I don't know, just something to help for the next game or two, just so we can keep. And then, maybe, I don't know. I just realized very quickly that, okay, no, only me then. Like that one. When you say so, you go, does anyone think? And then you go, oh, no, just me then.
Look, you can see people in the chat at the moment that are saying, I thought you were right, Flex. I mean, I'm sure there are others. This is what happens whenever things get bad at Manchester United, which is, we start blaming and arguing with each other, don't we? We start infighting. I mentioned that after the Wolves game and said it last few weeks. What is going on right now is a game of chicken between Ruben Amorim and the players, which is, I'm not going to change, you're going to change from both sides. So you've got Ruben Amorim, which is, this is my system, this is my formation, these are my principles, this is what's going to be. And I'm not going to change, regardless of how bad it gets, regardless of if you can do it or not. You know, if you can't do it, you're going to go. And during that whole time, storm's coming, pain's here, blah, blah, blah. You got the players going, we've heard this all before, mate. You know, Ralph Rangnick, 4-2-2, pressing machine. Eric Ten Hag, come in, Ajax football. You know, we've heard it. We've heard it. You'll change eventually.
Yeah.
You will change. You will bend the knee and you will change because we can't do it. We can't be bothered to do it. And you'll go back to what we want to do. We'll start winning some games. And then we'll have the conversation about actually some of these players are all right. And you've just got two groups going like this, and neither are moving. And whilst neither are moving, it's getting worse. And you've got basically two scenarios, haven't you? You've got one where Ruben Amorim goes, well, look, I mentioned I've got I want to put in my style and my system, but you've got to win games to buy your time. Basically, was the quote he was saying before, wasn't it? And then you've got the other part where you just go, no, going to do the Ange thing, going to do the anyone that's got strong philosophy, which is no, I'm going to go. If I go down, I'm going to go down to something. I'd rather go down
my way
than doing someone else's because I could change it, and these players are shit. And we'll still lose anyway. Yeah. And the problem is with all of this is it's like, I don't know what the right answer is, Flex. And I don't think Ruben Amorim knows. I don't think the players know. I certainly don't think Ineos knows. I think that this is the other part of it. For all of the talk about Ruben should maybe Ruben should change or he shouldn't change or these players or whatever, what you should look at, I think, and us as the fan base should be that, Ineos has been here for a year now. They've been in the door for a year. I mean, I know they got their certification ratified, whatever, in February. But Christmas Eve 2023, it was announced. If you were to say a year later that we would be, 14th, 15th in the Premier League, that all of these parts of the club are being cut, charitable arms, stewards, whatever. If you would talk about, oh, by the way, you'd have given a manager or extended a manager's contract and then sacked him. You'd have waited for, hired and then fired a sporting director all in the space of 12 months. And you said that to us this time last year, you'd gone, what the hell has happened? That is mismanagement. That is mismanagement. So why? Because we've lived through it. We're afraid of having that conversation because it is mismanagement. It's a mess. Like it is a total mess. I understand, you got to go through hard times to get to good times. And sometimes you got to step backwards to get forwards. No problem with that. But what absolutely can be said is what Ineos has done this season, they have made a proper mess of it to the point of they've put even a good coach like Ruben Amorim in an unenviable position midway through the season with players that can't fit into his system. And you put yourself in a system where you've got this game of chicken between Amorim and the players. Like that's all under them, and what you get is what you got last night. And what you get is when you look at the Premier League table, it's a mess. A complete mess.
It is, and the thing is that, like you said, that game of chicken is so true, right? It is that, but you look at like the lack of there's nothing in that team. If I was to say to you, then, like that team, that squad that we've got. Should that be getting relegated? Let's take we say, because the shit. They players are crap. Them players aren't worse than shouldn't be getting relegated. That team should not be getting relegated. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. It's got enough players in there that not getting relegated. But obviously, to be fair, relegation or things going wrong are usually obviously because you've got the worst quality, but also for players like that to be where they are, it shows that it just means you're a shit team. Yeah, if you're a shit team, that's enough to be not be relegated. But you have to look at it and say, I'm just saying, Ruben's saying he understands that you have to win games. You have to do whatever it is it takes to win games because you can't get a free pass as Man United manager. That was what my point was. And he knows that. He knows that. He says that. So it was almost like, does he need to tweak something within the system as it is? Maybe that tweet, like I said, maybe that tweet could be, I ain't playing Sandro Martinez anymore. I need big centre half. I can't, I might not be able to do what I want to do, but I'm not playing him. I ain't playing, I know he had to play Casemiro yesterday. Well, to be fair, he made the decision to not play Kobe and go with Casemiro and Eriksen for that game. Yeah. And it was like, bloody hell. But that didn't work, did it? do I look at only maybe having left footers on the left side and right foot? Like, is there little changes you can change within the system? That's what I'm sort of querying, not necessarily throw it all away.
That's my worry, Flex. That's my worry. My worry is I don't know what those kind of solutions are. I think we are in such a death spiral right now that when you say like, those players aren't, they're too good to get relegated or what have you, we have some big teams get relegated in the past, and it's not for the one. I remember when Leicester a few years ago got relegated from the Premier League. They had good players in their team. Was it season before they won FA Cup and stuff like that? And when they go and these players, when they go down, obviously they go to these other clubs and they're really good. So it's not a case of their quality; it's a case of being in a rut, their mentality, their team, and just and a club that's also just in a terrible position. And that's also where we're at. So that's why I would say we can't rule it out, because it's it's beyond the buy of their individual quality. It's the culture of Manchester United. It's inside the club again. And that's when I go back to mismanagement. It goes back to mismanagement and a club that's just in a complete death spiral. And that's what worries me about. We've seen every combination of, players coming in and out. It doesn't make much of a difference. We've seen, for people that will go, we've regressed like from what we were under Ten Hag. We were on this trajectory anyway. We were, weren't we? The only thing we have seen that can like stem the flow of bleeding this season was 4 games with Rude, when he basically had to pack the midfield or park the bus. But even then, is that the best sample size? Because look who we played. We played Leicester. We were going to be in the relegation fight with, Pauk, and even that wasn't pretty. Probably the best performance was Chelsea, but it's still massively concerning. And this is the other part is, you get this talk about, okay, KG was saying it last night. It was like January, got to go out in January.
See, you can't get no players,
and you go, who we're
going to get? And that's the bit. That was the bit. That's probably where I lost myself a bit, because I'm also like. Because I know, like, we can't really get no players. Like, we can't. Maybe, like, again, as we've seen today, for the official, people saying it, we've got to be a sell to buy. So unless you can sell Joshua Zirkzee already, obviously you get a situation with the Rashford thing, get him out. That's 2 you can bring in. But it's only 1 for 1. That's it. Only 1 for 1 at best. So this whole, we need to go and get loans, and he was saying we need to go get 4 or 5. We have to, because we have to. We can't. That's why I was getting more, because I'm like, well, that doesn't help Ruben. He still has to work with these guys. And that's what was making me turn towards like, okay, I have to work with these. Like, that's why I'm saying, is there anything else he could tweak or do? Because he must work with them. Like, unfortunately, he knew signing up to be Man United manager in the middle of this awful season with no Ps and PSR limit, you have to work with what we've got to the summer. Fact. Like, that's what you've got to do. If we can sell a couple on the way to help you, we will. So they're trying to do that with Rashford. I don't want to say they're trying to do that with Xerxes. That would be unfair to just pile it all in him. But if the taker comes in, or if there's options to get rid of some players that arise, we would take it.
Really, any bar 1 or 2.
Exactly.
For anyone
Everyone's for sale,
January,
right? Everyone's for sale.
Yeah.
But they don't know who or what that's going to look like. But what I'm saying is that we'll try and help you. But the general consensus for Ruben Amorim that he will know about, this isn't a shock or surprise, is that these same shit players that we've all cussed and we know are terrible and we all know can't do anything, you've got to work with them until the summer, at least. And guess what? Even in the summer,
what if he's trying to flex? This is the other part of it. What if he's trying to work?
No, he's trying to work. No, he is. No, I'm not saying he's. No, I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's not. He is trying to work with these players. Look, he's trying a new system. He's tried different players in different positions. He's tried Yoro left centre back, right centre back, De Ligt middle and right centre back, Mazraoui right wing back, right centre back, left centre back. He's tried bloody Højlund, Xerxes in between. He's tried Mason Mount. He's popped down. He's tried everything. Anthony in the 10, Anthony right wing back. He is trying. I'm not saying he's not trying. But that's what I mean about why something just might have to give, that he might not even want to change, because it's like, I've got to work with these until the summer. What's the best way to... We all know it's crap. We all know they can't pass. We all know they can't, mark players or they're completely, you know what I mean, deficient of any quality. But then it's his job to find something else. Then do I try something else just until this or just until that? I don't know. We've seen it. Look, we've seen it go both ways, haven't we? We've seen sort of like, I remember when Arteta was playing a back five at Arsenal because they wasn't ready to step out of it. They didn't have the players. And the fans were going, when are we going to play back four? That's too defensive. And they went to a back four a couple of times, took some licks, went right, not ready, sort of dip your toe, not ready yet. Go back and wait until you get the right players in, and then you change it. Because at the beginning he couldn't get all the players out. So he just tweaked it, changed it to something that can just help us go through, help them go through and say, right, let's stabilize a little bit. You know, that we've seen it with other teams where they don't change a damn thing and they stand on that hill, like saying what Andrew's doing with style of play and this, that, and the other. I won't change one thing. And we look across and go, mate, well, that's just naive. You have to change something sometimes. If you 2-0 up, you 2-0 up against Chelsea, crazy game. But because your philosophy is keep going because that's the principle, my way, you just sit off for 10, 15 minutes. Do you try a little something? Do you just tweak something? So I just think it's just too easy to just not like. He's basically lost if he tries anything different. I don't think he's lost if he does that. I don't think he's lost completely because he's lost if he's lost by just doing the same thing with these shit players anyway, because they ain't going to do nothing. So,
this is the other part of it, isn't it? Is then we've seen them lose in 4-2-3-1. We've seen them lose in 4-4-2. We've seen them lose in 4-3-3.
And I said that only last week. I agree.
And if he switched to, let's say he went back to 4-2-3-1, or maybe like you said, maybe it's not even as drastic as that. Maybe he just, did something a little bit more different within his 3-4-3, but he strayed away from what he believes in and we still lost, which I think is entirely possible. Then he might be a bit like, well, again, then I've already lost them. But has he already lost the players anyway? Because what we're doing at the moment isn't working. This is what I'm saying. It's an unenviable position. It's an unenviable position. And then also on top of that, any well-run club would go, look, I know it's a bit difficult, but we got you in like November, get to January, we'll bring some people in, then it'll be better. But we find ourselves in the position where we come to January and we're like, unless we're going to be selling people like we haven't really sold people before. Oh, and by the way, the sporting director we had that was going to be involved in that's gone. That's the part of it. Now, if early on in the transfer window, we sell Marcus Rashford for like 40 or 50 million and you go, oh, pure profit, you go bloody out. Okay, right. Things don't change, Ruben, because we're getting some wing backs and we'll maybe do some stuff. You go, okay, that's a bit different. But I think right now we're in that world once again of just all these hypotheticals, aren't we? Going, well, if he changes, then he loses them. If he doesn't change, he loses them. I mean, let's be total, because I think what you can criticize Ruben Amorim for is that it's quite clear that he got his team selection wrong last night. Even though he had a limited deck to choose from, there's a reason he made subs after 30 minutes and we were 2-0 down after 20, because even with the people he had, he got it wrong. When he brought Cobby on, we did get better. The irony, again, of last night too, which has been the case when we lost to Forest, when we lost to Bournemouth, is that actually we could have had like 3 or 4 goals last night. So the chances we actually had, we could have had that. Now, once again, it's hypothetical FC, isn't it? It's if only we scored, if only we did this, if only we did that. And we don't do that. That's the problem. But, people want to say you're scaremongering with relegation and what have you. If you can't score goals, which we can't, the last time we scored a goal in the league was City. Last goal we scored in all comps was against Spurs, wasn't it? And let's be honest, those 2 goals were given to us. And even against City, penalty and Ahmad, bit of individual brilliance. I can't remember the last time we scored a goal that was like a team move.
Yeah,
you guys really good move by Manchester United.
The first game.
We can't. I think maybe Everton, Old Trafford. We scored a couple of like team moves. That was the last time we actually scored like a team goal. So you're not scoring goals. We're now conceding more goals. Our defenders, are being switched in and switched out. That's relegation form. That's you're gonna not only are you gonna not win football matches, but you're gonna slide down the table. So
you're gonna get relegated.
And again, when it comes to like a formation, that's when I go like, I don't know how you would fix it in terms of I suppose the only thing you can do, if you're not scoring goals, you go, right, we just then have to go ultra defensive. So we start drawing games. Because no manager, Ten Hag couldn't figure it out so far. Amorim can't figure it out, really. Of just, how do we score more goals? We can't.
Yeah.
Can't score goals. Our attack is completely
gone.
ineffectual.
Yeah, it's completely gone. Dag says, in my 20 years watching United, easily the worst I've watched. I'm convinced we're the worst team in the country. Ineos better address this, otherwise sell. Well, like Gary Neville said, like we've said it here, pound for pound, we are the worst team in the league, pound for pound. You expect the bottom 3 teams to be where they are, fighting to stay in the league. And the rest of the teams are so-so, and they're probably overachieving. Man United, with what we've spent, the players we've got, pound for pound, the worst. Aminor says, Flex's Player FC enabler. Did you hear what Aminor said? Sorry, Amorim said.
Amorim.
Yeah, I did. We'll talk about some. We'll talk about what he says shortly. So Ryan says, we'll take these results if it shuts down the repulsive fawning over charisma. He gets the fans sneaker nonsense. Charisma, these wins, bro. Sheesh. Right, so Ryan being strong again. V33 says, we get relegated, share price crashes, Glazers and coward players will run. It will be a fight between Ineos and Qatar. I welcome this chaos to reset. Some people are like that, you know. Lil Yo-Yo says, this is what suffering is. All eyes on Ineos. A lot of people are saying, listen, you know, and we'll get to the quotes in a sec, but a lot of people are saying, listen, yeah, if we have to get relegated to like have the full, like, you know, like there's resets and then there's resets. By getting relegated, a lot of players would just say to their agents, right, get me out of here. Like, I'm gone. Like, we'd just have a flash sale. Like, it would, that is a quicker way of getting rid of like the guys with the big contract, because they'll all go, I'm playing the championship.
Well, people said it for years, didn't they? Going, if it meant Man United get relegated, would you? But the Glazers left. Would you take it?
Yeah.
Unanimously, everyone goes, oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so,
but relegations.
But I don't know. But I don't know if it would necessarily work like that. You know what I mean? I think that might be wishful thinking. I don't know. Like I said, it's just. I don't, like I said before, Flex. I don't know what the solution is. Now, Ruben Amorim had his press conference after the game, spoke on a variety of things. I was asked about Joshua Zirkzee. Obviously, Zirkzee went down the tunnel, came back. There was, I think, the beIN Sports report said he had tears in his eyes or something like that too. He said, Josh is a really good guy. When he went to the tunnel, I can understand some guys can be in a bad way, but he's a really good lad. It is life, and we will support Josh and continue. Newcastle were better than Manchester United. They weren't better than Josh, essentially saying it could have been anyone that came off. And he also said, when you have these kind of moments, it is really hard to turn things around, especially when you don't have a lot of time to train. We have to acknowledge our position, the way you see the league, kind of echoes of Ten Hag there, talking about no time to train really, actually, as well. He says, I think the players lose everything. The small things we try and work on in training after one goal, they lose everything because we don't have time to build the base to cope with the difficult moments. It is hard in this moment. And to be fair, once again, I'm sure if Erik ten Hag was listening to that, he'd probably be like, I
had the same thing. Yeah.
I could have told you that. You know, and we've seen it, play well for 20 minutes or then concede and you go, that's it, game over. Or you have a week's worth of training, 3 minutes, 1-0 down. That's it, done. Now, once again, this goes back to the system change, Flex. Journalists asked him about it. He says, when you have a change in coach, especially in this club, it is because they are not winning. And the players play specifically in the system they were brought for and chosen perfectly for that system. In that moment, with 2 years working in pre-seasons, they were losing. So I'm going to change for that system that I don't believe to win games. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, when
do you see what he's saying there?
Yeah, absolutely. He's saying these players were bought for that style, and they had 2 pre-seasons and ages to work on it, and it was still shit. So why am I going to change back to that? Like, I'd rather stick to my thing. Like, and he's basically saying,
it's a fair argument.
100%. He's basically saying why everyone's saying in the chat, do not change, and that will be music to everyone's ears. And I know it seems like I'm totally against that. Listen, I like that. Stay with your principles. I'm only talking about, like, should you do something different just for these, because these two coming up are like, we're in such a bad way. Is it gonna go even worse? But when I hear him speak like that, fair play. Like, I get it. I get 100%. Like when KG said on the Trinity last week, this script wasn't written for him. This is not the right character. Like, and then you said it as well. It's like giving it to a different character. You can't do that and expect something different to happen. So I do get why he's doing that. I do understand his methodology. And that's why I said, look, overall in the morning, that's why I was like, you know what? After thinking about it, look, fair enough. There's probably no real right thing to say. Maybe I was just going too mad in the moment then, because you can't. There's nothing. He's saying he's not going to. So that's the first thing. So yeah, we will carry on. All I can look at is different players within that system, or different, again, which I'm not. What I was trying to say is, again, there's different instructions within the system, right? Ideally, I'd like you lot to press from here, usually, but because we're not at it, because we're not the quality, let's just be in this mid block now. Let's actually not come out. I don't want my 10s going out there. Let's be compact. Actually, off the ball, maybe we'll just look like this, actually. Maybe you have a 2 up top. We'll press with 2, helping Rasmus. So we've got 2 there. Just little things within the system. That's all I'm saying. Not give them what they want. Give the players the 4-2-3-1. Make sure... I'm not saying that. I'm just saying tweak it a little bit. Just something. And those things he might even be doing that behind closed doors anyway, and they don't listen. I don't know.
Well, so, he kind of alludes to that, didn't he? When he sort of says that, we concede one and everything we've worked on goes to shit, basically. Maybe we see, like when we go to Anfield, like in Newcastle in the second half, they played in a 5-4-1, didn't they? Really, they played that and they went pretty flat, and we couldn't get through them. Maybe United do that. Just for the sense of, because this is the other part of it. If we did some tweaks, I mean, I know you should give up on a game before it's even started, but we're not winning against Liverpool,
no.
And it feels like damage limitations to the extent of like just don't concede loads, basically. And I tell you what is the biggest concern going into that game, Flex. If we concede as early as we did last night against Liverpool, we are in massive trouble. Massive trouble, because as Ruben Amorim saying there, the players just don't have it. They don't have that mentality just to kind of brush it off or do anything like that. They don't have it at all. And I would love to be a fly on the wall for a lot of things at Carrington, obviously. But I would love to know what these guys, Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, and Sir Jim, and all those guys are talking about now. Where's your grand plan? With this 2028 vision. You're going, all right. And again, I'm all for taking a step back to go forward. I get it. But, 6 months ago, we looked at the structure that was put in place and we said, right, finally, you've got people now. You've got the structure. We've got football people making football decisions. And yet we have still seen mismanagement, and we have still seen incorrect decisions. And incorrect decisions puts people in place in unenviable positions where they can't really succeed. And I think that's where Ruben Amorim is right now. He's been put into an unenviable position. And I think probably he thought it wouldn't be as bad as this, because everyone, when they come to Man United, they don't think it's as bad as people say. They go, oh, no, it's like when Cristiano Ronaldo came in. I know they haven't won it the Premier League in a while, but I bet it's not as bad as, they say it is. Shows up and goes, oh yeah, it is. It is as bad as people say it is. And that's Man United. So the only thing that Ineos can do is try and look at, like, I can't even believe I'm saying it, but like the Chelsea model, and be like, somehow they've been able to try and spend, we need to find a way. Can we sell a hotel, or can we do something?
Bring them and say, what rules did you break that no one knew about?
Yeah. No, I mean, to bring people in January, because I don't know. Again, I don't know.
Ask Matisse how he's feeling today, because I'll tell you what.
I don't know. What the answers are, because realistically, any option we pick to try and get ourselves out of it is the wrong option. Think about it. Any option that you would suggest to try and get out of it is the wrong thing.
Well, yeah, because look what I've suggested. Listen, maybe just
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Well, maybe you should tweak things. Well, can't do that. Maybe we should change system. Well, no, we can't do that. Yeah. Well, maybe we should bring Rashford back in. Well, can't do that. Maybe we should take Bruno out of the team. Well, can't do that. Maybe we should try and buy people in January. We can't do that. What are we gonna fucking do?
but that's why I'm saying the manager. That's why when they say the buck stops at the manager, this is why, because it's like, well, You got this. You got to fight stuff. It's your job. You got to.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. You go. You know when you're in a crisis, you go make a list of pros and cons, and you go pros. All right, cons. Let's start on the cons, and then you're just going down. It's all cons. It's all cons.
Sagnet says, serious question. If by pressing one button we can get to a situation where last 4 games of the season is 1 point needed to avoid the drop, are you guys taking it? Who's the 4 games against?
What is our end of the season looking like? Actually, that's a good point.
Probably awful. Our relegation running. What is it?
Yeah. Our last 4 games of the season, Flex.
Oh,
Brentford away. Right.
Don't fancy that. Yeah.
West Ham at home. Chelsea away. Villa at home.
Arsenal. Oh, Villa. Nah, I wouldn't.
In that 4 games, I mean, he's get a point.
I'd rather be here.
You'd be looking at the West Ham game. You
would, but even that's like, nah. I'd rather be here because there's longer to go. I wouldn't take that. No chance. I know 4 games to get 1 point. You'd think, bloody hell, that's easy. Yeah, I mean, 12 points out of 12, you just got to get 1. But
it's like us now, don't it?
Yeah, exactly. Last 5 games, well, we got 1 point, something like that.
Yeah, 3 against City, the worst team in the league, and us.
And us were the worst. Scholes says, we signed 100 players since Sir Alex. Only 1 might be a success, Bruno. We have been here before. Tweak this. Need a right back. Ahmad must start. We need a destroyer, etc. Nothing works. I'm ready for the reset. And Joe says, Euro in, Martinez out, Ugarte in, Casemiro out, Mainu in, Ericsson out, Malacia in, switch Dallo to the right, and Højlund, Ahmad, and Bruno back. We'll be better, in my opinion.
But that's the other part of it, by the way, Flex, with that. And this is why I think we talk about like the system and bigger picture, because I don't know, I'm kind of almost past individual players at this point. You know what I mean?
It's gone past that, yeah. Because
it's like
bring this player in, we'll be all right.
Yeah, it's not like obviously there are players that you should take out. Like for instance, Leacher, God, he's playing shit. Or like Casemiro, obviously, but he's not really in as much. And like the Rashford thing, but whether they're in or they're out, it's not making any difference, is it? Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
I don't want to see. I know, like Lenny Yoro, like KG said, you're a young kid, you want to throw him into whatever. I'd much rather throw Lenny Yoro into Anfield than have Leacher just rolled out doing what he's doing. Honestly. Already, I think for that, just go, just play Yoro in there. If you want to put Mazraoui left centre back, because you think he's a bit more comfortable there, then do it. But on that Salah side, you got to protect Yoro and stuff. He's young and that, but just play the kid, man. Yeah, that Martinez.
And we're desperate as well, because so whenever anyone does come in and they do a half decent performance, not even a good one, a half decent one, we go, like Maguire against City,
Cambuano against Liverpool last year.
Yeah, and we go, oh, well, Maguire against City. I don't know. And he goes, no, come on. Like, or Anthony comes on, does a cameo. We go, oh, well, and it's like,
there's nothing.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
There's no, like, one person gets dropped in and dropped out and we're better.
No,
I mean, we're fixed. We're not. No. We're not. And that's when I go back to no answers or no solutions. It's like, right, okay, right. Højlund starts this one. He scores now. Yeah, right. Okay. So yeah, Højlund's got to score goals, and it's like then he doesn't. Xerxes comes on, does okay. All right. Then he starts like last night, half an hour gone, it's off the pitch. Like, just, what's really worrying me, Flex, is our good players this season, they're starting to slide now. Mazraoui last night, it's probably one of the worst games I've seen him play. He struggled.
They're all infected.
Ahmad was really wasteful last night. And you can tell with him, he almost doesn't even trust his teammates anymore because he's picking the ball up and he tries to do it all by himself now. Yeah. It's like, you guys are rubbish.
He's
freestyling the ball out of play and all that kind of stuff. And just, there aren't any solutions. So Maka that's why it's like, just get as far as we can.
Maka says, Alvaro F from Benfica, Alvaro Fernandez, from Benfica for 16 mil, buying back. Lil Yo-Yo says, Dolph Ziggler was horrible yesterday. Need a number 9. Is that what they call Rasmus, Dolph Ziggler? Yeah. Is that what they say?
Bleach blonde hair, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Carlson says, tweak, and you might as well start Rashford. And Lenalolo says, Flex, remember the question I asked yesterday, knowing what you know now, if these results continue to be this bad, do you think he survives till next season? Well, this is on Ineos again. You got to make it work. You better give him all the time he needs. If that means that I did say if we have to finish 16th this year, I'm quite like I know this. I'm all right with that. Like not all right with it, but I understand that. I understand. Like we just have to stay in the league. That's all. We just have to stay in the league. Like if we finish 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 12th, 13th, whatever, then it is what it is. Like I just don't get relegated, obviously. Like just Jesus, you know what I mean? And Curious Watchman says, "Morning, guys. I can't see any positives today." No, because there is none. You're right, Curious Watchman. There is no positives. There are zero positives with what's going on right now at our football club. Zero. Don't know where the next win's coming from. Multiple losses in a row. No direction. Chaos behind the scenes. Chaos out in the open, just absolute chaos, mate.
Well, it's circus stuff, isn't it? The one positive is that it is New Year's Eve, and if you haven't already, click the like button. Flex is going to go probably, I think, given how Man United are playing and given the fact it's New Year's Eve, probably going to go get some whiskey or something like that. Maybe Ray and Nephew. That's a drink, by the way, not two people. That's something new. But if you haven't already, click the like button. We've got over 2K watching. Again, there's nothing to like about in terms of Manchester United, but something to like about when it comes to the channel, I suppose. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Let's see if we get to 500, or maybe 750, maybe even 1K. We can prove that we are, unlike the team, we are united, and that's what it is. That's what it's going to be, as Show says there in the chat. Fleck leaving UV confirmed. That's what I mean. At one point last night, if those that are watching the match view, KG just left for like 10 minutes, and I think he was saying it was technical issues. Some were suggesting he just went toilet. I'm not sure what it was, but he just disappeared for a while. And maybe that's what Flex is doing here. Maybe that's what it is. But I thought
I needed to blow my nose. I was so bummed out. I was getting back to 5 days ago, mate, when I was just sitting duck. I had to blow my nose, man. Oh God! Yeah. So
that's what Manchester United. That's what Manchester United has done to you. You know what I mean? Over this festive period, it's been a lot of games. I can't even believe I'm saying this as well, Flex. I bet Ruben Amorim's going. I can't wait for the next international break.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
God.
It's crazy. And
you know what it is?
Yeah.
I just can't wait. I really need to just get past. I just want to fast. If I could press a button and fast forward to, let me pick my date.
The middle of January I
need to get past this Arsenal and Liverpool one. I just want it to be the 13th of Jan.
But do you worry that
coming out the FA Cup?
Do you worry that a lot of pressure's already been put on that Southampton game of like that's the next time we're going to win? You know what I mean?
We can't even say going to, but it's the
next. That's what I mean. But that's almost like
we might be able to win that.
That's like the narrative, isn't it? Of we are not going to win a match until this date.
Because if you don't,
that's already a concern.
Because if you don't win that, well, even look, it's Rangers. I know it's. Oh, that's a Thursday night. That one. All right, okay. It is that game then, and who we got after that? Brighton at home. Bloody hell. That is going to be like you can just already feel. Here's what's good. You can already feel what's going to happen. The Arsenal Liverpool thing is we know that's going to be. Back to back, more, easy, yeah.
But that not
L's, yeah. L's.
So you nearly put 2 hours together, and that's
sorry. Well, that's a Lingard now.
That's
whatever.
That's Lingard,
2 L's, 2 L's, yeah. Whatever it is, yeah. 2 losses back to back again, yeah. That Southampton game will just feel like if we can beat them, we'll just feel like, oh my God, we don't even know what this feeling is like. Because by then honestly. It would have been, right? By then it would have been, is it 6 on the bounce? L's in all competitions by then. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. So if it goes to plan, well, I say plan. If it goes how we think, where we lose against Liverpool and Arsenal, that will be 6 defeats in a row in all competitions. 6 defeats in a row. So if you do get a win against Southampton, it would just feel like, oh my God, like I don't know, like this.
Well, and also as well, it would have been the first time. Let's say we lose against Liverpool and Arsenal, which is likely. if we won against Southampton, that would have been our first win in a month. It'd been a month for football since we won over a month, rather, since we won a game. And like I said, my worry is with these players, this is the other part of our brains. We're just like, well, okay, we'll be better than Southampton. We can beat them. But if you haven't won a game for a month, and that's like you said, 6 games or whatever, the assumption of you can just turn that on and win again, that's my worry. We can't switch it back on. We can't even switch it on in the first place, let alone turn it on and off like a light switch. So by the time comes, you never know. Southampton might be in better form than us, with their new manager. And that's also a worry. So like, it's a bit like, I remember seeing this a few weeks ago with City, when they were obviously their run of 1 win in 13 or what have you. And then suddenly you look at every game and you go, they're not going to win any of them. That's where we're at now. We're looking at these games going, like you just did. You went Southampton, all right, but then you go Brighton at home. You go, I don't know about that. Lose that one. Yeah. Fulham away.
Nope,
they're
no
on good form at the moment. Lose that one. You get Palace at home. Another relegation one, but they're in good form. Spurs away. We've already lost there this season. Everton away. Well, Everton, they're all right sometimes, actually, aren't they? Well, I don't know. Ipswich at home, that's a relegation one. Arsenal at home, not going to win that one. Like, it's almost every other game we're going we're going to lose, and
which is why we just got to stay in the league.
Form.
No, the form's not going to change. The relegation vibe, like we have to get our mindset into, and this is where it's
beat those teams around us, basically.
No, it's as simple as that. Forget everyone above 14. Forget all of that. It doesn't matter. Don't forget, we win the next game though. To be fair, well, we're not going to beat Liverpool, but we're only 2 points off Brentford. And they're 12. That's a lot better than where.
Yeah, enough of that shit of we're only like 9 points off top 4.
No, look at what we need to be looking at is how quickly So within the next match week, is the Crystal Palace got who? Brighton. Have they got? Oh no, they just lost to Brighton. They got Chelsea. Right. So if Crystal Palace, we need Chelsea to beat Crystal Palace away. But guess what? Chelsea ain't doing shit at the minute. They've just got back-to-back losses themselves. Yeah. Dropping points. So if Crystal Palace beat Chelsea at home, which is possible, and we lose to Liverpool, which we will be 15th. So then you look to the next team, Everton. What are they saying at the minute? They got Bournemouth away next. Probably won't win.
They're in all right form, actually, aren't they? They're getting points against big teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they lost to Forest, but
But they're 5 points off us, so at least it's not within one game. So when we lose against Liverpool,
Sean Dyche, shouldn't they?
They're used to it. They could get a result.
Obviously, I know we beat them at Old Trafford. When we played them at Goodison, we will struggle that game because it feels like Sean Dyche against those teams. Sean Dyche has figured out if park the bus, you get a point, and against us, you will get a point at least.
And Everton got a game in hand, by the way. So well, that 5 point, yes. Oh yeah, true. So they'll lose that. To be fair, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
But these are the sorts of things though where we have to be involved with. Like, what was the Everton score? Did they draw? Oh, good, they dropped 2. Good.
It's like last minute of Ipswich, wasn't it? When people were going, they were like, "Wow, bit of shining light." Ipswich beat Chelsea. You go, no. It's the other way around now. That's not good. They get closer to us.
Really, if from 14th down, if from 14th to 20th, we all just keep losing at the same rate, we'd be all right.
Yeah.
Like, we're the 14th worst. We're not the 20th. We're not 19th. We're not 17th. If everybody keeps losing roughly about the same amount or just kind of like breaks even, we'll stay in the league. Just off of those teams probably, he says, won't be good enough to win like 3 in a row and shit like that to actually get out of the relegation zone. Because that's what you have to do to get out. Because the reason why teams stay in the relegation zone is they can't put back-to-back wins together. Look at Leicester's form. Look at that. Look at Southampton. So those two, they're not, and they've got 6 and 14 points respectively. They're not going to catch us. They're not. So those two are definitely occupying 2 of the things. Then it's about Ipswich Town. Are Ipswich really going to go on a resurgence and get out of that? Are Wolves? Potentially. So that 18th spot. Wolves probably will. So you're looking at Ipswich as the favourites. But I tell you what, could Ipswich go on enough of a run? 15 points, we got 22 to catch us consistently. That's the one you're looking at. Because the other 2 are gone. Leicester and Southampton are gone. Isn't it?
That's where we're at.
Yeah. So no one say, why are you doing this? This is shameless. No. Every match day, That's what I want on match views. In fact, we're going to set it up now. New rules, match views and stuff. We should be looking at. We should either be doing multiple match views, or where we're looking at what's going on in the others.
We'll have another score. We'll have
I
another
want
score.
I want score update.
Yeah.
I want score updates for our rivals.
Yeah. We'll have something like that because that's where we're at. You know what I mean? And also,
we need to know.
Yeah, realistically, this is one, and you can let us know in the chat. Realistically, how many more games do we actually win this season?
Oh no, Rooney got sacked.
Did he?
Shock. Yeah, just got sacked.
Not sure. How many more games do we win this season? Bear in mind, we've won 6 games thus far, and we're halfway through, right? 19 games, isn't it? Yeah, we are halfway through in terms of games played this season, and we have won 6. Do we expect to win 6 more games? I was going to go, I reckon 4
out of the 12.
Right, so
what we got left?
We're 19 games through the season, right? So that's half, isn't it? Right,
you play
38 games in the season.
Yeah. So we got 19 again. Right.
How many more games? How many more games do we win? Bear in mind, we're halfway through. We have won 6.
So we just done 6 in 19.
Yes.
A few draws. We just done 6 in 19. How many in 19 will we get at the back end of the season? Transfer window, nothing really going to happen. Maybe one player.
I think we get another 6, 5, 4.
I'll say 5. 5 wins. I think 5. And that should be enough to keep safe.
Add on 15 more points. You'd be about 37, couple of draws.
Yeah.
Get to 40.
It should be just enough.
5 wins and a couple more draws.
Yeah.
Well, if we replicate the form that we've had thus far, we'll be 44 points.
Fuck hell. Jesus Christ. 44 points, mate. We've got 22 points in 19 games. Jesus.
And looking at the Premier League from last season, actually, it's 23-24. Looking at the Premier League from last season, 44 points. We'd finish 14th, 15th, which is about where we're at. So that's where we're at.
That's where we're going to be. Yeah, that is where we're going to be, and this is why we have to understand what we're really facing. And when Amorim says about the relegation thing, did we do that as a quote? We did we?
Not sure if we. Yeah, we had this one. That was about the Rashford thing when he's saying about think about the team. You lot think about Marcus. Think about the team. I'm not making a point. And he also said, I don't want to arrive here and make excuses. I think people are tired of excuses in this club. Our club needs a shock, and we have to understand that.
And that was just after I think he said about relegation. He said something, but when he said we need a shock, that could be a bit of a tactic. That is a bit of a like, oh yeah, we're in a relegation fight. Absolutely. Don't think you're too big to be in that. That's where we're closer to. So that's what we are. You know what I mean? And like DK says there, Everton, Ipswich, Leicester, Palace, Southampton, West Ham, those are the games we have to win. Actually, yeah, we're not taking into consideration when we play them teams. If we can just make sure we beat them, we'll stay in the league.
That's the 4 or 5 wins, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's the 4 or 5 wins. That's it.
Yeah. So I do agree. I think we have to understand who we are, what we are.
Which is really
shit. Which is shit, yeah. Yeah, exactly. We are really in the trenches. Yeah, says Wrap Up Heaven. Exactly. Where are we at super chats wise? Oh, I've got loads actually. Remember the question. Can't see any positives. Okay, Curious Watchman after his super chat has become a UV member at a horrible time. So you've joined at a time where we need to stick together as much as possible. So welcome to the family. Ujwal says, as a Liverpool fan, I personally feel bad for you lot. Big up your channel though. Much love and have always admired and followed Flex. Big up to you, Ujwal. Really appreciate that. Maybe spare us if you feel that bad for us. Don't score any goals against us on Sunday. Give us another 0-0, please. I beg you. Curious Watchman says that sell the lot, bring in academy, nothing to lose. And Joe Fleming says no European football next season will be a blessing. Well, you don't get European football in the Championship, do you? So yeah, it's just focus on that, mate. It'll be like playing European football. They've got to go Saturday, Tuesday. Saturday, Tuesday is vigorous. It's relentless in the Championship. It'll be worse. VK says Ruben talks a good game. Let's see if he outstays Ashworth tenure. Well, he has. What do you mean?
I think maybe say last longer than Ashworth did 5 months.
Oh, right. Okay, right. Oh, yeah. Happy New Year, all, says VK. Big up to you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And the Manjakuchina, time is now, says FA can't afford to lose viewership of the biggest fan base in the world. We are not getting relegated. Well, the FA just going to put more points on our thing to make sure we
fix it. Yeah.
Question is, how does this improve without investment? Bro, you're saying about the FA. What do you mean the FA can't afford to lose viewership? Like, if we get relegated, we get relegated, mate. Like, it's nothing the FA can do to stop it, unless there's some serious fixing going on.
Corruption,
so Ryan, corruption. So Ryan says we buy worse players than we sell. What talent is coming to United? These takes feel good, but aren't practical. Who replaces Rashi for 40 million and scores 20 plus goals? Well, exactly. Yeah, that's the scouting. This is why the Avengers have been assembled, hasn't it? Like, you got to go and find that player. Balder says, how could Ineos sign a manager with different tactics the players can't play, knowing they can't do much in January? Feel for you as a gunner. Yeah, exactly. That's what's happened. So what, should we have just kept Ruud to the end of the season and brought Amorim at the end? Because at least Ruud would have just done a temporary thing to the end, 4-4-2, stack it up. Because
but in fairness with that I've seen people saying that. That's very easy to say in hindsight, isn't it? That's very easy to say. No, this is what you should have done, Flex. We should have just, Ruud interim and then Ruben at the end. But they didn't have the foresight. And nor did anyone, by the way. There wasn't a lot of advocates for keeping Ruud at the time.
Everyone was saying there. Everyone was like, yeah, we don't want Ruud to go down that thing of like getting the job,
yeah,
and then, or even interim. And also, we praised Ineos' ruthlessness for going, there's no messing about. It was done. You just knew the next manager was going to be Ruben Amorim within 2 days. Barada went out there, got the deal done. They're ruthless. That's what we said. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then we would have been having the conversations of, if when we went on this inevitable losing run under Ruud, it'd be, see, this is what it is, ex-players, and we don't want to turn on, he's only managed PSV, blah, blah, blah. We did that same thing. We're very
exactly. Jasdeep says that, would you take a 2-0 defeat on Sunday or 3-0? Well, 2-0, yes, I'll take that over 3-0. Whatever the lowest defeat is, I'll take that. And Wilk says, do you think the manager starts playing youth? Hope you guys had a great holiday day. Don't know. That's when I'm talking about tweaks and trying new things, this is what I mean, but I got shot down for it. So also that means don't play youth. It means just keep doing. What's the point? In it though, Owen. That's what it means. That's what it means, though. That's what it means.
But I got shut down for it, so.
Yeah, I did. So clearly, don't try and change anything. Don't try and play youth. Wilkes, don't suggest that he starts playing youth, because that would be tweaking something. That will be changing something. Keep playing Martinez. Keep playing.
I was wondering when Jurgen Fleck was going to come out. I was wondering, he was going to come out towards the end of the show. Right towards the end, he peeked his head out a little bit of. I know I'm the king of passive aggressive, so I appreciate it. I think it was very good.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying, Wilkes is suggesting to tweak something. Do I think the manager starts to play youth? No, I don't, because he shouldn't change a damn thing. So, no, he shouldn't. I don't think he will, Wilkes. Curious Watchman says, nearly forgot. Hi, Brian.
He calls me Brian for some reason.
Oh, is it?
Apparently, I look like someone called Brian.
Oh, interesting. And Blacker says, understand implementing your principles, but to not change to be slightly more secure for these shit players is very naive. He's moving like Ange at the moment. Well, again, Blacker, you're being ridiculous.
As soon as you go, well, as soon as there's a pause and Flex goes, well,
you're being Blacker 012.
There's always the
you're
start.
Being ridiculous. You're being very naive, to be honest.
Well,
Blacker, you're being naive to suggest that, to slightly change something to be more. You don't suggest that. You will be, you will be stoned. Don't do it. Bantu Cod 3 says, we will come good, just don't know when. Do you think Amorim is safe if we keep dropping points? On the other hand, how are you lot handling the banter from the fans, from the small, tiny clubs? Don't care. Like, you know,
Don't care.
yeah, it's embarrassing. Yeah, like, to be honest, like I said to Dan Bardell the other day, like, until the smaller clubs win something, don't really care, because you lot have been like dead for years and not had, in your whole lifetime, you've not even gone to Wembley and won a trophy. Like I said to Dan Bardell, I said, well, this is my worst period ever I've experienced as a fan. This is your best period as a fan for him. Like, you're having good nights under the lights, but you know, you get some trophies, win some stuff. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'd love to get an FA Cup. I'd love to get an FA Cup.
We're so in the mud. It's a bit like, you know, Matisse last couple of seasons, when eventually people start feeling sorry for you a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's not like, you know, when you lose, you miss out on top 4 by a few points, or you lose a final, or, you know, something like that, and you go, bloody hell, this is really embarrassing. When you're 15th or 14th, whatever, you just go, yeah, we're shit. You know, no. Yeah. Mocking is going to make you be like, oh, I feel so much worse that these people are going to mock me. Of course they are. You know, how can, you know what I mean? If you get like a Arsenal Liverpool fan at the moment, oh, you're rubbish. You go, yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. You just apathy. Curious Watchman says Jurgen Flex will know. Brian on whatever podcast. I don't know what that is. I don't know who that is. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Guys, big up for watching. Thank you. There'll be a Flex and KG show later on this evening. So enjoy. And have a happy new year. Whatever you're doing tonight, whatever you're doing, enjoy it. Be safe, be happy. Forget about football. Don't let Man United ruin your new year. Whatever goals and aspirations you've got going into the new year as well. I hope you got them. I hope you lock in and can achieve them. So yes, big up everybody. Thanks for watching. Smash a like on the way out. We are out of here. Big show. More therapy. See you soon. Peace.